Welcome back to the Staying Young Show, the voices of executive medicine of Texas. This whole hour has been about staying healthy during a busy schedule, and nobody knows busy like our guest today. Don't change that channel. That's right. This is the Staying Young Show, but that is coconut water from our guest, Anand Bhatt. And if you're just tuning in, we finished with Emmy, and you can find the whole show on iTunes, itunes.com. But hey, love that song, Anand. Thanks for coming on this show.
Well, thanks for having me.
And the title, I mean, with coconut water, as we're talking about hydration before, and, it fits right in.
I love it.
Terrific.
A lot of fun. That song actually landed me a one coconut water endorsement. That song is so much fun.
I love that. All right, so let's talk to the listeners for a minute and tell them what's new in your life. What's going on?
Oh, man, a lot of fun stuff. On the road, I don't know how new being on the road is, though. It's kind of funny. Everywhere I go, people ask me where I'm from or where do I live. And, I've got a house in Chicago. I don't think I've seen it in a year now. So it's, just being on the road and, just got back from the Grammy Awards not too long ago and all sorts of other fun things going on.
That's great. Now, you now can vote on Grammys, right? Isn't that kind of like...
Correct. I am a Grammy voting member.
Oh, right. So I really want the inside scoop. Tell us the inside scoop. What's the real deal?
The real deal. Well, the real deal is we're supposed to vote on quality alone, but they make that pretty hard because we get a pile of music to listen to and, huge ballots and, we pick our core categories and, we listen to everything. Everyone tries to listen to all the music, but I think what happens is a lot of people vote on projects that, people they're fans of. It happens a lot.
Yeah, well, politics. It's not just in Washington anymore.
That's right. That's right.
Hey, I saw a really interesting interview with you where you said that it's so different when you're on the inside because you kind of went down the list of, this person just is not getting as much attention as that person and this person wishes they were, this other person. And I thought it was so funny that they may be so famous in everybody's eyes, but they're sitting there all worried.
That's just how it is. And it's amazing. The higher you climb up the ladder, I think the more insecure you get. It just comes part of the par.
It's a farther fall.
That's true.
Right. You got a lot more to lose.
Yeah.
The higher up you get.
All right. Now, you are on the road a lot. As you said, you haven't been in Chicago for about a year. So let's talk about eating right on the road and still being cool. I mean, because you're cool. So I'm sure that, you go out to eat and then you had like some lettuce and people look at you like, what?
Oh, exactly. I think the cool factor goes out the window during dinner time.
That's right.
It's hard, because everyone else is getting cheeseburgers and beer and, I'll sit there on the menu and I'll nitpick with the waiter. Well, what ingredients are in this salad dressing, right? So.
Yeah, we know someone who's like that.
Why are you looking at me?
Yeah, this is so true. Okay, so we have this. You're going to get a kick out of this. We have this this new test that we do called an ALCAT, and it's really where you're looking for different food allergies, and so it's not necessarily allergies, but it's sensitivities, things your body's more sensitive to that you may not be aware of. So we all had this discussion about whether we should allow Dr. Gammon to get the test or not, because the restaurant conversation already sounds like this. Well, I don't eat gluten. And don't bother bringing the wine menu. And and so now if he gets this test, which I think did you get it today?
Yesterday. I don't have the result yet.
Yeah, I said now it's
going to come back and say he's sensitive to water, and then he's going to be down to air.
So, anyways, we just loved it to pick at his expense. He's all red. But all right, so you
eat healthy on the road, and you stick
I'm
to
with you, man. I get the laugh many a day.
Yeah, who's got the last laugh, man? You got all these awards, silver, platinum. Or do you have a platinum?
I did. It went platinum, and I'm going to go platinum in Norway and Sweden.
That's
not
awesome.
too long ago.
Cool.
Yeah,
cool.
You're so international. You're kind of neat like that. I mean.
So, a lot of people on the road, when they get stressed, they sort of want to eat, so-called stress eating. Have you ever fallen into that trap?
Oh, totally. I mean, you want to. I mean, that's one of the biggest tips I have is you got to be prepared, both food-wise and emotionally in order not to fall into that trap, because, you know, it's so easy. I mean, even in big cities like Vegas, you don't feel like hitting a buffet and you're tired when you come home to your hotel room, and the only thing left to get any food that's not, you know, $100 a plate is the gas station.
Yuck. Okay, no. There's no such thing as food at a gas station.
Yes, there is. No. This is true. Because even when we got on the road, and so, you know, we do these long motorcycle rides, I tell these guys, I can eat better at the convenience store than most restaurants because I can go get beef jerky. They usually have fruit, or they've got the prepackaged salads. Most of them now carry protein shakes back in the dairy area.
So do you get sushi there too?
I don't get the sushi from the gas station. No, I'm not going to go that route.
Okay.
But, you know, every time you walk past the Doritos aisle, you know, you think, oh, man, I would rather, you know, because you're stressed out, you've been on the road, and you so want to order a pizza and eat a bag of Doritos.
Yeah, what about the donuts? Don't they have the donuts? And they have the rotating, like, see, I haven't been inside a gas station in a long time, but do they still have the little rotating, like,
the hot dogs from 4 weeks ago?
Like or boxes of Krispy Kremes or something they've got going on.
Because you can't just eat one.
You can't. You got to eat them all.
But you can do it. I mean, you can make, one of the things you stress with anybody, but especially when you're traveling, is, I get my, you know, food kit together, so I'll go get raw almonds, some beef jerky, and things I can put in my backpack that'll stay with me. If I get stuck at an airport or something, I've got something there, so I don't have to go eat bad.
Exactly, and that's the big thing about being prepared. So, as I'm sure PR told you, I wrote this book, Rockstar Recipes, and I really wrote it for myself just to document everything I was doing, because I had to come up with these recipes of things that I could make that were good and healthy and according to my very picky plan that I could make really quickly using, you know, a hotel room microwave. And, you know, you can make high-protein chocolate bars by running to the store and getting protein powder and make yourself snack food, like you said, that you can actually take with you at all times. That's easy to make. And so that way when you have a huge craving, and especially, you know, on a stressful day, you just want to feed yourself emotionally, you've got something to go to, so you're still in control of your food choices that way.
Now, he's staying in places that I stay in that have microwaves and refrigerators. Emmy's staying in places that have Olympic-sized pools. I'm like, where the heck are you staying? Because, you know, I got a microwave, and I can fit a six-pack in the fridge, and that's it.
Oh, we should have warned you before we brought you on.
Oh, that's great. Oh, sometimes I get put in these places that have a full kitchen. I think I've got one of those tonight. And that's great because I think it's got a stove and an oven, you know, but those are rare. You know, most of the time you're lucky if you get, you know, they're tiny microwaves and may have roaches in them. You know,
so. That's nasty. Well, I don't know. Somebody would say that's protein, but to me that's like a trip to the psychiatrist.
Oh my gosh, I did the Southeast Asian tour, and that is their preferred eating.
Really?
I was the
Cockroaches.
crazy one for turning down the bugs and grasshoppers on the side of the road for, you know, that's street food.
Okay, so let's talk about that international travel. Like, what do you do when you're traveling international? Because you can't always bring stuff with you.
No, you don't, although it's a lot easier to eat healthy in other countries than it is here at home. I mean, we are really the hydrogenated oil fast food country. Those problems don't really exist elsewhere. And so the biggest problem is I went on this vegetarian kick for a while, and I try to do it as often as possible, but I got into this argument in Vietnam where they're arguing with me that the tail of the pig doesn't count as meat.
What?
So eventually you just got to give in to something like that. I mean, that was more of a fussy OCD thing than it was for health reasons, right? So I'm like, all right.
So how was the tail when you ate it?
Oh, so you ate the tail, so okay.
Oh, well, you got to eat it. I mean, they grind up cat ears in the soup. You know?
Oh, no.
Depending on where you are, you just eat it. You can say no to the bugs, though, because there are other options. But otherwise, you know, you do have healthy choices there because the fruit is much more fresh in other countries. And so, I mean, you can get fresh mangosteens anywhere, especially in Asia, and things are made with fresh coconut milk, and you know, it's easier to eat healthy, at least.
Okay, so if you're here and you don't eat meat, you're called a vegetarian. And if you don't eat meat or dairy or all that stuff, you're called a vegan. So what are you called in these other countries if you don't eat the bugs?
Smart.
Because I want to make sure I know that word.
Smart. The no bug diet. That's great.
No bug diet.
You're called American, apparently.
That's what you're called. That's right. You're so much fun. Oh my gosh.
Oh, you guys are entertaining.
Hey, we got to go to break in about a minute, but just for our listeners, give them some websites. We're going to keep you on, but give them some websites where they can find you and follow you on things you're doing.
Oh, well, the best place is to hit up my Facebook. That's facebook.com/AnandBhatt, ANandBhatt, rock, R-O-C-K, all one word. And Twitter, ANandBhatt. And there you can get updates for, Rockstar recipes. Sometimes that book is free every now and then from retailers, so I like to post that out. And, one of my sponsors, M3K Beauty, they do free stuff via my social networking as well. So, Facebook and Twitter are always the best places to check out.
That's right. You hear that, listeners? Get on there. Go find them. Free stuff. Time to go to a short break. Stay tuned because coming up, we're going to continue our visit with Anand Bhatt and learn about his own personal journey. You're listening to the Staying Young Show, and as always, we're giving you information that you can use. Welcome back to the Staying Young Show. This is Judy, and I'm here with Dr. Mark Anderson, Dr. Walter Gammon, and we're the voices of Executive Medicine of Texas. You can visit us on the web at emtexas.com or download past shows by going to iTunes and searching The Staying Young Show. Don't change that channel because you are listening to the Staying Young Show. You're listening to the music of superstar Anand Bhatt, and we love this Livin' My Way song. Fabulous, fabulous music. Whole hour has been on healthy living and how to stay healthy when you're on the road and you're really, really busy, and nobody knows busy like the guests we've had today. We started with superstar and supermodel Emmy, and now we're visiting with music sensation Anand Bhatt. Like I said, that was his song. Lots of great, great music. And this has just been a fun show.
Well, I just wanted to point out to him that, you got guys like the old rockers who didn't exactly live healthy on the road, who, tried every chemical known to man and smoked. Keith Richards comes to mind, and it's like amazing. He's still almost 70 years old. So think if you take care of yourself, you could be, a musician into 100.
Right, because some of these guys, they look like they were rode hard and put up
Keith Richards is a testament to the resiliency of the human body.
Hey, I was curious and just a sidebar for a minute. Do you find you're more creative when you eat better? Have you noticed any correlation there?
Well, I've noticed, not directly, but I've noticed indirectly that I sleep better. And lack of sleep is one of the biggest stressors, I'm sure for everybody, but also when you're living on the road. And, if you don't get enough sleep, you're just kind of out of it. And I've noticed I've been able to tap into my creativity a little better if I'm just more in control overall, health-wise.
Do you do your own music arrangements?
I do as much as I can. When I was younger and less popular, I should say, you had a lot more control over music. Now whole teams of producers work on things. So I'll write something, it'll sound great, and I'll kick it in, and it'll get polished by at least 4 or 5 other people before it hits market.
How is it? Is that hard when you get it back and you're like, oh, you changed it? Is it hard to let go of your babies?
It was at first, but the songs do better. People seem to like them better. So, collaboration is a great thing, and it's more for ego reasons if you don't want to let go of your baby.
You start going up the charts and your money starts rolling in, and you go, well, maybe it's not so bad.
Exactly.
The song that we had introducing this segment I thought was terrific. Because if I had one expression, I'd say it's very 21st century. Really your music is more 21st century than anything I've heard so far. It's terrific.
Well, and the irony of that is that you take, it's a fusion of what you do. You fuse different types of music together. You had a name for it. I forgot it. I read this somewhere.
It's Latindian as well.
Yeah, Latindian. Yeah. So it's like Latin and Indian and kind of mixed together. I love that word. I love that. I don't know. It's just cool how it mixes different cultures together and stuff.
Yeah. The world's getting smaller, and so different genres come closer together. We started that with cuisine, right, in the late 20th century.
Absolutely.
And now we're moving on to music. It's really terrific. I really enjoy it.
Well, and it's one of the reasons why you have to be in good shape versus the idols I had growing up. When I finally got to meet them on the road, my childhood idols, they weren't the six-pack ab rockers they were when I was a kid. They're fat and losing, not a shape.
Their faces are falling off.
Problems. And because the world is now flat, you're global out the gate as a musician because because of the internet, and you can do interviews internationally via Skype right away, and you're hitting every market at once out the gate. And in order to put up with that schedule, you can't be hungover on Jack Daniels and cocaine in the morning. It just doesn't work.
Yeah. I mean, they wrote a lot of songs about that.
Yeah, but they also had a whole bus ride to get over it,
That's true.
That's right. There's no bus ride anymore.
Right. You just move straight from one thing to the next.
All right. So now you play a lot of different instruments, don't you?
I do. I think most of the time it gets focused on guitar and vocals, but, I grew up playing violin and sitar and guitar, so I've had
Yeah. Yeah, I read somewhere about how musical you are, that you're just like a musical brain. And I think that's why you're so successful. We once went to, it's kind of a funny story, I'll make it short, but I talked Walter into taking me to a Prince concert, and he was actually amazed of the musicality that Prince had, that he can play all these different instruments. And
oh, yeah.
And it's, some people don't have that appreciation, I don't think, until they see it, and they watch him just pick up one instrument after another and like, oh my gosh.
Right.
Well, I appreciate all genres except rap. I just can't get into rap, but I appreciate all genres because, like you, when I was small, I played the violin. So all violin players, they're musical.
That's right.
All right, let's talk about your personal story, because I loved when we have somebody on, and it's the first time they've been on our show, to kind of hear their personal story. So give us a little couple minutes here about you, who you are, and all that.
Sure, totally. That's actually why I wrote that book, Rockstar Recipes, is everyone kept asking me why I'm such a crazy eater now, and it doesn't make sense unless I tell my personal story, and I kind of wanted to get it out to everyone in one shot, so I'm kind of glad you asked me that, so I can tell everyone in one shot. I grew up your typical testosterone-fueled rocker kid in Chicago. Got into a lot of trouble, partied a lot, and, I had a lot of fun. But, like I said earlier, it wasn't until I started to get successful, finally, started to get to meet my idols, did I realize that lifestyle, it just doesn't work, especially this day and age. You can't be sick and hungover and unhealthy and suffer from diabetes, in your 40s. I mean, it just doesn't work that way in today's world. So, like I said, the guys who are looking great in their 20s when I was a kid, and I grew up and meet them, they're enormous, and they can't keep track of their schedules. So
what was your big break? Like, when did somebody go, oh my gosh, this guy's amazing?
Actually, what's weird, in high school, we kind of did it as a joke. Everyone's got a garage band in high school, and we had this song called Touch My Monkey. And,
that doesn't sound so great.
Yeah, exactly. Teenage boys, go figure. And, we dressed up in these cute little monkey outfits, and did, signed up for the dance show. High schools have variety shows and dance shows. And, we signed up to do that, and we choreographed this whole little monkey dance. And it just took off. Like, the whole high school loved it. Next, we're recording a tape. That's just the whole am. We're recording a tape. And getting that out, and people started buying T-shirts and selling that. We started getting gigs, and then we got on local Chicago radio. And that was the big thing. Something as ridiculous sounding as Touch My Monkey, just because it was fun, and that was our
weirder things have happened, right?
That's right.
Sometimes this is
really
very bizarre
because,
things.
The radio DJs introduced me to other stars, and you just leverage one relationship after another.
Yeah, that's great. I love that.
Right. Yeah, I mean, that song title could have one meaning in the United States, but you could always reference it back and say, well, it's actually referring to Indian. We take care of, we have monkeys as pets in our backyards, and it really,
there you go.
Yeah, and then you got to start spinning it the other
That's
way.
Right. Every country, it means something different.
So in some country, it may mean you're touching my dinner. Get away from it.
There, you're right.
Yeah, I want to make sure I put that on my I don't eat list too. All right, so let's talk for a second about you. I mean, obviously you take good care of yourself. If you're listening and you don't know who Anand Bhatt is, go Google him, and because you're a fine specimen. I mean, you look healthy.
And he needs to give his hair care secrets out.
I know. There was a saying, don't ever date a guy whose hair looks better than yours. I mean, I'm sure there are lots of people out there that are like, you know what? Can't do it. You got great hair.
Have you gotten a shampoo contract yet?
No, and you know what? I think they've been working on it, but it's hard for a guy to get a shampoo contract. I get other products, which is great, and I was joking with somebody not too long ago because I got hired to do a red carpet of a hair show in Vegas. And I was joking with somebody. I'm like, yeah, I don't know if it's the music. I think the hair sells more CDs than I do sometimes.
Yeah. Now, are you a model too, or were you ever a model? Because I know that there's so many great photos of you.
Here and there, this day and age, that's half the business of being a musician.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, that's true.
You endorse products. Like I said, it was recently I just landed that M3K Beauty endorsement, and back at the Grammy gifting lounge, we took a lot of pictures. You need to meet Jose Ibert. you should be going out with Jose Ibert because you have great hair. Oh, thank you.
So before you go, tell us where our listeners can find your recipe book.
Oh, Rockstar Recipes, it's available in most places. I think the best place to look is barnesandnoble.com. And if you're a Nook user, they make it free very often.
Barnes & Noble, and you've been listening to the Staying Young Show. That's all the time we have for today.